Maya's arms tighten around Sophie, trembling but steady. Her voice wavers, but she doesn't stop singing. Every note is soaked in urgency and love, like it could stitch Sophie back together. Sophie's fingers curl into Maya's shirt, gripping, desperate for something solid in the chaos of her body. Maya feels Sophie's pulse against her chest, erratic, and it sends a spike of panic straight through her. "Shoo, I've got you," she whispers between the lines of the song, as if speaking could somehow tether Sophie to the world. She rocks slightly, just enough to match the rhythm of Sophie's shallow breaths. Adam presses his hand to his mouth, his body taut with memories. His chest aches with the familiarity of the melody, a painful reminder of a love lost too soon. Every note Maya sings twists something raw and unresolved inside him. He wants to step forward, but fear roots him in place, afraid he'll break the fragile moment, afraid he won't measure up to the echo of the past. Sophie's body slowly relaxes against Maya, the seizure's grip loosening as her eyes flutter open. Relief crashes over Maya, hot and raw, and she leans down, pressing her forehead to Sophie's. "You're safe," she breathes, and for a fleeting second, the world narrows to the pulse of their connection. Adam inhales sharply, unable to move, the weight of recognition pressing down. This song, this voice, it isn't just a melody. It's a lifeline, and somehow, it's binding him to a future he didn't know he could reach. Sophie murmurs softly, clinging to Maya's collar, "Don't go." Maya swallows the lump in her throat, her own voice barely more than a whisper, "I'm not going anywhere." Adam's eyes sting with tears he doesn't let fall, his hands clenched at his sides. He knows this is a moment that could change everything, if he's brave enough to step through it. Adam stays rooted behind the curtain, his chest tight, every movement measured so he doesn't interrupt the fragile rhythm between Maya and Sophie. He watches the way Maya's hands move, steady, precise, almost instinctual, and something inside him clenches and loosens at the same time. She doesn't flinch at Sophie's flailing limbs, doesn't look away from the fear in her eyes. She simply becomes the anchor, and Sophie latches on. He learns her name before she even says it aloud, Maya Thompson. 30. Nursing student. A woman who carries exhaustion like armor, who juggles jobs and responsibilities no one notices, yet somehow bends the world around her so others can breathe. Invisible until she chooses to make herself seen. Adam's chest tightens, a curious ache that feels almost like longing. For the first time in years, he notices the weight inside his chest shift. Not gone, not erased, but a flicker, delicate, fragile, like the first spark of a candle against darkness. He had forgotten this feeling, this small, tremulous hope. And now, he's watching it bloom in the form of a woman whose presence demands nothing but gives everything. His hands clench at his sides, knuckles white, and for a moment he imagines stepping forward, introducing himself, offering something, anything, that could become a thread between them. But he doesn't. He simply watches, letting the image of her strength and tenderness sink deep into him, etching itself into a part of him he thought had hardened forever. He swallows, almost silently, thinking, maybe this is the beginning, not just for Sophie, but for him too. Maya forces herself to keep walking, her ankle throbbing with every step, teeth gritted against the surge of pain. She brushes it off with a tight-lipped smile, pretending the stumble near the car never happened. No one needs to see her falter. She can handle this. She always does. Later, in the hospital room, Adam is nearby, carrying supplies for Sophie. Her shirt brushes against her side as she bends down, and he catches the slight wince, subtle but sharp. His chest twists at the sight, quiet, unnoticed, yet impossible for him to ignore. He doesn't say anything, doesn't step forward. He simply watches, a shadow in the corner, storing the image of her strength, and her hidden fragility. Hours later, Maya opens her locker to find a small bundle of medical supplies she hadn't ordered. Inside is a neatly folded note, "Take care. Someone is watching." Her fingers tighten around it. She doesn't say a word, doesn't look for the sender, but her heart stirs with a quiet warmth. Someone cares. Someone notices. Someone sees her in ways the world usually doesn't. Her mind lingers on one possibility, though she doesn't speak it aloud. Adam. But she says nothing. Her lips press into a thin line, a mixture of gratitude and curiosity twisting inside her. Whoever it is, they've stepped carefully into her life, leaving small acts of kindness instead of declarations. Who leaves secret notes and quiet care? And why does Adam remain in the shadows instead of stepping forward? The questions linger, a soft, persistent echo in the back of her mind, but for now, she tucks the note into her pocket and carries on, letting the warmth bloom silently inside her. Maya's hands shake as she holds the folder in front of the administrator's desk, her voice taut with desperation. Please, I didn't misplace anything. I triple-checked the samples. Sophie's blood, everything was accounted for. Her heart pounds, a mix of frustration and fear clawing at her chest. The administrator doesn't meet her eyes. Protocols were broken, Maya. We have to suspend you until this is resolved. The words land like stones, heavy and final. She swallows, blink after blink, trying to keep her voice steady. I can't. Sophie depends on me. You have to believe me. They don't. They don't see her hours of meticulous care, the nights spent worrying, the relentless attention she pours into every detail. Her throat tightens, and she can't fight the sting of helplessness that settles deep in her chest. Meanwhile, Adam's phone vibrates. He reads the alert, and something inside him shifts from quiet observation to focused determination. He doesn't hesitate. He calls security, requests records, cross-checks timelines. Every detail matters. Every moment counts. His mind races, the anger underlined with concern. He refuses to let her be punished unfairly, refuses to let her strength and dedication be dismissed as negligence. In the shadows where he stayed, he moves decisively now, tracking, investigating, piecing together a truth others won't see without him. Somewhere in the building, Maya sits, fists clenched, heart hammering, unaware that someone is quietly gathering the pieces of her defense, someone who sees her, truly, and won't let her fall alone. Maya pushes open the door, heart pounding, uncertainty twisting in her chest. Then she sees Sophie, small and eager, running toward her with arms wide. Relief crashes through Maya, sharp and trembling, as she scoops Sophie up. The weight of fear and doubt from the past days melts into the warmth of the embrace. She sets Sophie down, breath still catching, and turns to find Adam standing just beyond the doorway. His expression is unreadable, calm, yet something unspoken lingers between them. You didn't have to do that, Maya says, her voice low but edged with awe, anger, and gratitude all at once. Adam shrugs lightly, a faint, almost imperceptible smile tugging at his lips. Because someone needed to, he replies simply. No flourish, no explanation, just the certainty of the action he took, of the choice he made. Maya studies him, searching for motives, excuses, anything to explain why he would step into her chaos. But there's nothing performative in him. Only quiet presence. Only steadfastness. For the first time, a shift begins, a fragile trust, delicate and raw, threading itself between them. She doesn't say it aloud, and he doesn't ask, but both feel it, a bridge forming, unspoken yet undeniable, that could carry them through the storms still to come. Sophie tugs at Maya's hand, laughing softly, unaware of the tension and gratitude swirling in the adults' hearts. And in that moment, Maya allows herself a tiny, fierce flicker of hope, tethered to the thought that maybe, just maybe, she's not carrying everything alone anymore. Maya stares at the glowing screen, cursor hovering over the delete button. Her fingers hesitate. Gala. Fancy dresses. Smiles she doesn't feel she deserves. No money, no connections, no place in that polished world of glimmering gowns and whispered names. She presses delete, a soft exhale escaping her lips, trying to convince herself it's just another responsibility she can ignore. Footsteps stop behind her. She turns slowly and finds Adam standing there, hands carefully holding a small, neatly wrapped box. Her eyes narrow, suspicion and curiosity wrestling inside her. "I thought you might need this," he says quietly. Maya's hands tremble as she unties the ribbon. The paper falls away to reveal a sapphire dress, soft, elegant, and impossibly beautiful. Her fingers brush the fabric, tracing the seams, the weight, the history stitched into it. It's his late wife's dress. The same dress that had once danced through memory and loss, now handed to her. Her gaze flicks up to him, searching for intent, but he only meets her eyes with gentle certainty. "Will you be my first date?" His words are soft, almost fragile, yet they carry weight. Maya's chest tightens. The dress feels heavy in her hands, not just silk and thread, but memory, grief, and the unspoken possibility of something new. She inhales, caught between fear and longing, hope and hesitation. Is this a gift of hope, or a ghost from the past threatening to haunt them both? The question lingers, unspoken, as her fingers curl around the fabric, and the quiet pulse of possibility threads through her heart. Maya steps into the gala, the sapphire fabric clinging and flowing, every movement catching the light. Eyes turn. Whispers ripple through the crowd like a low tide, brushing against her ears with sharp curiosity and subtle judgment. "Isn't that his wife's dress?" one voice hisses. "Maybe she's just a stand-in." Another chuckles softly, speculative and cruel. Maya feels their stares like cold fingers tracing her spine, prying into spaces she never wanted anyone to touch. Her chest tightens, a knot of shame and self-doubt coiling inside her. Every step becomes heavier, every laugh she forces feels brittle. The dress, meant to be a gift of hope, now feels like a reminder of everything she isn't supposed to be, an outsider in a world that never felt like hers. She moves toward the exit, shoulders hunched, each whisper and sidelong glance pressing her further into herself. The music, the chatter, the clinking of glasses, all of it fades behind a rising tide of hurt and humiliation. Slipping out the doors, she breathes in sharply, the cool night air biting at her cheeks, anchoring her to reality. Wounded, unsteady, yet still holding the dress close, she walks alone, trying to stitch together her pride from the frayed edges of her courage. Maya stares into the mirror, the sapphire gown folded carefully on a chair, its shimmer muted in the dim light of her apartment. Her voice barely rises above a whisper, "You weren't chosen because you're you. You were chosen because you fit a space someone else left behind." The words scrape against her own heart, sharp and unrelenting. She closes her eyes, imagining a life where her choices didn't feel tethered to expectations, where her worth wasn't measured against absence and memory. But even in that quiet, she feels the pull of Adam's presence, the echo of Sophie's small, trusting face. The next morning, she requests a reassignment, anywhere away from him, away from the weight of that gift and its history. Routine becomes her shield. She moves through the motions with precise, almost mechanical care, folding herself into invisibility. Yet no matter how strictly she guards her steps, memories seep in. The way Sophie clings to her. The warmth of Adam's quiet interventions. The music of the lullaby that tied them all together. They linger, insistent, unshakable, and she wonders if she will ever be able to fully hide from the pull of what, and who, has begun to matter too much. Maya bursts through the doors, heart hammering, breath coming in sharp, jagged gasps. Sophie's body convulses violently on the bed, small fists clenching and unclenching, eyes rolling. Panic grips Maya, but she doesn't hesitate. She drops to her knees, wrapping Sophie in her arms, pressing her chest against the trembling little frame. Tears streak Maya's cheeks, but her voice rises, trembling yet unwavering. "You are my sunshine." Each note is a lifeline, a tether to bring Sophie back from the chaos consuming her. Her hands tremble as they smooth hair from Sophie's face, whispering each word like a prayer, hoping it's enough. The seizure slows. Sophie's body relaxes into Maya's arms, tiny breaths catching and leveling. Relief surges through her, raw and burning. Maya rocks her gently, murmuring the last lines over and over, refusing to let go, unwilling to believe the world can take her away again. In the corner, Adam collapses into himself, shoulders shaking, tears unbidden streaking down his face. He presses a hand to his mouth, whispers, "I thought I lost her." His voice cracks, hollow with fear and memory. Maya glances up, voice soft but steady, holding both Sophie and a fragile calm. "You didn't." The room hums with quiet intensity, and for a moment, nothing else exists but the small, fragile heartbeat in her arms and the weight of emotions pressing on them all. In the darkest moment, Maya saves Sophie again. But can Adam and Maya save each other from their ghosts? The question hangs in the air, unspoken, trembling between them, a challenge that neither knows how to answer, yet. Maya stands frozen, the memory of the gala and the weight of the sapphire dress pressing on her chest like stone. Adam's voice cuts through, steady, unwavering, "You didn't wear that dress to replace anyone. You wore it because you're the first person who sees us and stays." Her breath catches. The words sink deep, unraveling the armor she's worn for years. She swallows hard, the past clawing its way up, impossible to ignore. She begins, voice trembling, then breaks entirely. The confession escapes in a whisper, raw and jagged, "I wasn't careful. I killed her." Adam doesn't flinch. He doesn't step back or recoil. Instead, he takes a careful step closer, voice firm but gentle, holding the weight of her pain without judgment. "We don't get to choose how our past ends. But we do get to choose how the next part begins." Maya's arms tighten around Sophie, trembling but steady. Her voice wavers, but she doesn't stop singing. Every note is soaked in urgency and love, like it could stitch Sophie back together. Sophie's fingers curl into Maya's shirt, gripping, desperate for something solid in the chaos of her body. Maya feels Sophie's pulse against her chest, erratic, and it sends a spike of panic straight through her. "Shoo, I've got you," she whispers between the lines of the song, as if speaking could somehow tether Sophie to the world. She rocks slightly, just enough to match the rhythm of Sophie's shallow breaths. Adam presses his hand to his mouth, his body taut with memories. His chest aches with the familiarity of the melody, a painful reminder of a love lost too soon. Every note Maya sings twists something raw and unresolved inside him. He wants to step forward, but fear roots him in place, afraid he'll break the fragile moment, afraid he won't measure up to the echo of the past. Sophie's body slowly relaxes against Maya, the seizure's grip loosening as her eyes flutter open. Relief crashes over Maya, hot and raw, and she leans down, pressing her forehead to Sophie's. "You're safe," she breathes, and for a fleeting second, the world narrows to the pulse of their connection. Adam inhales sharply, unable to move, the weight of recognition pressing down. This song, this voice, it isn't just a melody. It's a lifeline, and somehow, it's binding him to a future he didn't know he could reach. Sophie murmurs softly, clinging to Maya's collar, "Don't go." Maya swallows the lump in her throat, her own voice barely more than a whisper, "I'm not going anywhere." Adam's eyes sting with tears he doesn't let fall, his hands clenched at his sides. He knows this is a moment that could change everything, if he's brave enough to step through it. Something inside Maya shatters and softens all at once. The years of guilt, the relentless self-blame, the fear of never being enough, it all collides and finally gives way. She leans into him, allowing herself to be held for the first time in what feels like forever. Her tears soak his shoulder, and he holds her without question, without expectation, letting her collapse into the space he's quietly offered all along. For the first time, she exhales fully, letting herself be seen, letting herself be human, letting herself begin again. Maya wipes her hands on her apron, stepping back to admire the small, bright corner they've created together. Shelves lined with colorful books, pillows scattered across the floor, and a hand-painted sign that reads, "The Sunshine Room." She breathes in, chest tight, heart full, a fragile sense of accomplishment warming her from the inside out. Sophie toddles in, eyes wide, fingers reaching toward the letters. She pauses, lips parting, and whispers, barely audible, "Sunshine." Maya freezes, heart stuttering. The word hangs in the air, delicate and miraculous. Tears spill down her cheeks, hot and unstoppable, as she kneels to gather Sophie into her arms, holding her tighter than ever. Adam stands a few steps away, hands folded, silent. He watches the scene unfold, chest swelling with something he hasn't felt in years, quiet, steady hope. No words are needed. The room glows with it, radiating from Maya's tears, Sophie's first spoken word in months, and the unspoken bond that has grown between them all. For a moment, the world narrows to this small circle, 3 lives, fragile and repaired, connected by care, courage, and the stubborn, enduring light of love. Maya stirs her food slowly, savoring the quiet, the simple rhythm of sitting across from someone without the weight of expectation pressing down. The table is modest, the plates plain, but for the first time, it feels like enough. Adam leans back slightly, eyes soft but steady. "Now I know I don't need a reason," he says, voice low, carrying the weight of everything they've endured. "This time it's not about healing anyone. It's just about sitting across from someone who makes me want to live one more day." Maya's lips part, a whisper escaping before she can stop it, "You make me feel like I can stay." The words hang between them, fragile and shimmering. Adam reaches across the table, fingers brushing hers. They lean in slowly, a gentle kiss, unhurried, careful, a promise, not just of affection, but of a beginning built on trust, courage, and the choice to stay despite fear. For a heartbeat, peace settles around them, tender and complete. But in the quiet beyond the sunshine room, shadows linger. The past has a way of returning. Something waits, unseen, unspoken, ready to challenge the fragile world they've begun to build. And in that pause, their hearts tighten in unison, knowing that love, hope, and courage will soon be tested in ways they cannot yet imagine.